let's start with last night at Madison Square Garden. I threw out there that if Patrick Laine wins the Rocket Richard, he's got to be in my Hart Trophy Final 3. And when I say it out loud, I know it's kind of crazy because some guys have had amazing seasons this year. But is that a crazy notion when pitched to you?
The only reason I would say yes, Sid, is because are you telling me he's more valuable than Blake Wheeler is?
See, that's the problem, right? Like,
that is a big problem.
No, it is a problem because Wheeler has been a monster. Again, they went like 11-3-2 when Scheifele got hurt earlier this season, and it wasn't Laine necessarily running the engine of that team. We all know it was Wheeler. I just can't believe what he's doing as a teenager. It was similar to what McDavid was doing last year, but with less pub. Like, it's incredible.
Laine is a great player, but he's not the most valuable player on the Jets this year.
Yep, that is the issue.
So who would be in your conversation if we're talking Hart?
Oh, you know what? My guy recently was Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
He was #1 on my list, but you know, Wheeler's there. You know, Florida gets in. Barkov is there. Taylor Hall is there. You know, Eric Staal is a guy I kind of have to look at and wonder if he should get more of a challenge. But, you know, as it stands right now, if I had to vote today, it's probably Patrice Bergeron. But, you know, especially if he misses a lot of time, somebody else is going to force their way into the picture. Taylor Hall, man, I'll tell you this right now. It's going to be if New Jersey gets in or Colorado gets in, Nathan McKinnon, if both those teams get in, that's going to be a hell of a vote.
Friedge, what's different with Hall?
You know, I think that, look, I think all of us mature at a different point in our lives. I mean, as a teenager and a young adult, I was a total cement head. I was as big an idiot as ever lived on this planet. And eventually you get older and you grow into things. And, you know, I think Hall was shocked by the trade. I think it took him some time to get over it. I think he had a lot of anger. But last year was not an easy year for him in New Jersey either. And I think there was a really intense conversation at the end of last year between him and the Devils, Ray Shero, and they told him they weren't happy with the way the year went. And Taylor Hall, who was a guy who trained all by himself in the summer, moved to Toronto for the first time, and he trained with guys like John Tavares. And I think a light went off. I think he realized there was a whole other world out there. A whole different way you can prepare for games, prepare for your season, that there was another level he could get to, and I think he got there. And I think some people realize it earlier than others, and some people realize it later than others, and Hall clued in, and now that I think he kind of understands what it really takes, his mental game has matched his always incredible physical game.
You mentioned Tavares' name. Things aren't good for the Islanders right now. He even said he's just not having fun. They've lost 7, 6 points out of the second wild card that Columbus is holding, but then they've got Florida and Carolina, and Florida's not letting up right now. They're on a roll. So what did go wrong for the Islanders in the past few weeks?
You know, Ivanka, I was surprised they didn't try to do. They made one trade for a defenseman. They traded for Brandon Davidson out of Edmonton. I thought they would try to trade for a bigger defenseman, a bigger name, bigger player, I guess. That's kind of what I thought they would do. You know, there's been a lot of knocks on their goaltenders this year, but I think they feel, and with some fair reason, that they needed defensive help as much as anything else. Their goalies have had great games when they've given up 50 shots. I think they just felt they had to improve the quality of chances against, and they didn't do it. Now, one thing I think that happened to them this year was they went out and they made that deal with Calgary, and at the time, Gar Snow for Hamonic said, we're going to use these picks to get us help when we need it. And all of a sudden, Calgary's in a position nobody expected they would be, where they could miss the playoffs. And all of a sudden, the Islanders are sitting there and they're looking at having 2 lottery picks, including one they never thought that would be. So I think they looked at it and said, we're not dealing that pick unless we get long-term help. And it may not save their season this year, but it helps their franchise, especially on the chance that Tavares leaves. And I think that's what happened to Ivanka. They chose not to address their blue line, and it's affected their year. Now, I was in Vancouver the other night for their game. That's as down and frustrated as I've seen Tavares look. I just got to think at some point all of this, his future, the decision he's going to make, and the situation with the team this year, it's weighing on him. I don't think there's any other explanation for the way he looks and the way he's playing.
Weighing on him enough free. This is interesting to me because you know, when the Stamkos thing happened, when other free agents come up, you get jacked up because these are prime assets and there are a lot of suitors and there's always a chance a better offer comes around. Tavares never seemed to me to be a guy who I was ever really that concerned about wanting out just because he's been so loyal for so long in a bad situation. Do you really think he could make the leap?
I think he could. I don't think he wants to. I think that you're 100% right, Sid. And every time I talk about Tavares, I qualify it with this. I think he wants to be a New York Islander. His first choice is to be an Islander. And if Steven Stamkos taught us anything, and those two are good friends, it's that it used to be if a guy got that close to free agency, you assumed he's leaving. I can watch this play a billion times, the one that you're showing right now. But now, with the week that you can talk to other teams, Stamkos showed that you can dip your toe in the water and go back. And I think we've all learned our lesson about that. I really believe, first and foremost, that John Tavares wants to be a New York Islander. But I think the way it's looking at this time, guys, is that he's going to at least dip his toe in the water and see what's out there. And, I mean, he wants to win. The number one thing he wants to do is win. That's all he cares about. And someone is going to try to give him a belief that he can go and win.
The bright spot for the Islanders, of course, has been Mathew Barzal, though, who's just having a tremendous season. You're in Vancouver, as you mentioned. You saw him going up against Brock Besser. That was the headline, the top two rookies in the Calder vote. And then the unfortunate thing happened with Besser.
Yeah.
Is Besser still, I mean, he's out for the season, but is he still in the conversation for Calder at this point?
I think he's in the conversation, but even before that game, Ivanka, I think it was starting to lean more that it was Barzal's trophy to lose. And I think he was becoming the #1 favorite. Now, I have a rule, and in Edmonton it has not made me very popular for it, and that is that I believe games played matters. I think in this league it's a hard league to play in, and if you're a rookie and you're close with someone else and you play a significantly more amount of games than that person, I really believe that should matter because it's hard to be a rookie and play close to 82 games. To me, I know you just showed the scoring list. I think the guy who gets shafted by that list is Charlie McAvoy. Like, my top three are Barzal, Besser, McAvoy, probably in that order. But McAvoy's out. He's going to probably miss the rest of the regular season. As you said, Ivanka, Besser looks like he's out for the year. That means something to me. Barzal, in addition to everything else he's done, if he goes and lasts close to 82 games, I think that says something in the NHL. To play 82 games as a rookie in this league, I think that is an accomplishment to be celebrated and not held against you.
Sticking with Vancouver, Fridge, I know you were out there for a couple days. The Besser news this week. We have the Canucks tonight on Sportsnet taking on Arizona.
Yep.
We all know it's a downtime out there.
You staying up for that one, Sid?
Yeah, well, I'm going to bet on the game. But
Okay.
the point is this. No, I won't. Betting, don't do that, kids. It's terrible. Hypothetical. I'm a Vancouver sports fan. I see you hanging out at White Spot out there, and I
Yeah.
walk up to you, Frege.
Yeah.
And I go, Frege, with Besser not there now, give me a reason why I should watch this team for the rest of the year. If I were to ask you that as a Vancouver sports fan, how would you spin it to me? What's the positive?
Oh, that's a good question. I've never really been asked anything like this before. Well, you know what? Like, you talk about betting. I can watch any sporting event for any reason. Like, for me, if I see something on TV that's competitive, I'll watch it because I like the competition. So I might be a bad guy to ask. I can always find a reason to watch something. Now, I know that doesn't make me a normal person. and many normal people may look at this and say, I'm not going to do this tonight. But the fact is, I can always find a reason to watch a sporting event, whether it's to watch Horvat, or it's to watch Ekman Larsson, or it's to, like, hey, how many people thought they were going to watch Vancouver Rangers last week, and it turned into one of the most entertaining games of the year?
Good point.
I always believe that there is a reason to watch because it might turn out to be entertaining. and that's why I'm going to watch it tonight.
Well, just so we're clear, I'm with Free. I was watching South Dakota State last night.
Well, there was a berth on the line.
No,
though,
but
right?
like really, that's still kind of crazy, is it not? Like I'm with you though. I'll watch it. It doesn't matter. Now you and I are freaks, and we're all sports fans and whatever. But it's just I could just imagine how down it is out there. That's where that comes from.
Like,
but I'm with you. I'll watch it.
You'll also watch The Bachelor. Do Canucks fans feel unlucky though? I mean, teams all go through injuries, but do they feel like they have gotten, the short end of the stick for not only this season, but a few seasons now?
Ivanka, I just went out there to repair the damage from all those people hating me for a week. Do I have to do this again? No. You know what I think? Where they feel unlucky is the lottery. Like, there is no question in my mind that every Vancouver sports fan right now is saying, we deserve good luck in the lottery. They've been hammered 2 years in a row. And the lottery now is the most important day on the NHL calendar. There is no day in the 365 days of a year that has a greater effect on a team's fortune than the draft lottery. It changes everything for you, good and bad. And all those Canucks fans are sitting there right now and they're saying, okay, we've had 2 bad lottery draws in a row. We deserve a good one. I think it's really interesting seeing how the Coyotes have come from way behind everybody to getting up there. And I think they look at it like, hey, you only have an 18% chance at first place. And secondly, we have to show some heart for our fans. So it's going to be an interesting one. But I do think if the Canucks fans feel unlucky and they feel they deserve better luck, it's not injuries, it's at the draft lottery. They feel they deserve better luck when they draw the balls.
Well, it could be Erasmus Dahlin in their future. It's got to change at some point. You never know, Freed. It's a great point. Freed, we appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right. I'm taking myself and my 6.7540 out of here. See you guys later.
I knew he was going to say it. I knew he was going to unveil it. Take care, brother.
Elliotte Friedman on my side. I like that.
But it's a valid point. Like, can you imagine at some point this summer the Vancouver Whitecaps before a kickoff saying, now introducing the latest draft pick from the Vancouver Canucks, Rasmus Dahlin. They could get him. And Alphonso Davies scores 3 goals, and that's a great thing, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You could be that good,
You're
or
right.
not.
Or yeah. You play to win the game.